Hello and welcome to another session of Pre-ACT Reading. My name is Jordan Boyd and I teach Advanced Placement U.S. History and Honors Modern World History here at Olathe West. Today we're going to be focusing on these two types of ACT reading questions. First, we'll focus on key ideas and details, which are 55 to 60% of the test. These are going to require you to closely read, define central ideas and themes, summarize information, understand relationships, and draw inferences and conclusions, including understand sequences, comparisons, and cause and effect. We'll also focus on craft and structure, which is 25 to 30% of the test. These questions are going to ask you to understand word and phrase meanings, analyze word choice and text structure, understand the author's purpose and perspective, analyze characters' point of view, and interpret decisions the author makes and differentiate between various perspectives that you might encounter. And if you're sitting there thinking, that sounds like a lot, don't worry, we've only got 6 questions here today, but here's how they're going to be sort of divided up. We've got 4 key ideas and details and 2 craft and structure just for practice. Remember that one of the key ACT reading strategies is to skim the questions before you look at the passage. This will help to direct your reading because you don't have to sit there and, intensely analyze a reading passage in front of you. You are reading only to answer these questions. The key word here, though, is just to skim them. I recommend that you spend no more than 10 seconds per question getting a sense of what it's looking for. So please pause this video now, briefly skim the questions, and advance this video when you're ready. Now that you've briefly skimmed the questions, let's dive in. Question number 20 asks, the author of the passage would most likely agree with which of the following statements? Please pause this video now and see if you can find the answer. The answer is H. Although many of Fontana's designs were impossible to build, his impractical designs are generally more interesting than his practical ideas. And if we go to lines 40 to 45, we're going to find some content to back that up. Up here it says, one of the most remarkable features of his ideas is that many of them are impossible to execute. They simply do not conform to the principles of mechanics. This gives them great charm and makes them more interesting, perhaps, than his more rational or practical proposals. That is going to support H being the best answer. Number 21 says, the main idea of the first paragraph is that, please pause this video and see if you can find the correct answer. The correct answer is C. Because 15th century inventors knew so little about mechanical forces, their designs for inventions were often more imaginative than realistic or workable. Especially toward the end of the first paragraph, like right here where it says you would know so little about mechanical force that you could conjure up almost anything and believe it to be practical, that is especially going to support C being the best answer. Number 22 says, it can be most reasonably inferred that which of the following individuals mentioned in the passage would have been the least likely to invent something. Please pause and see if you can find the answer. The right answer here is G. Someone who wanted to own a wonderful and mysterious devices such as a prince, lines 18 through 20. If we come to lines 18 through 20, here we go. If you were someone who wanted to own wonderful and mysterious devices like a prince, how would you find the person who could make these things? Princes want these, but they need to find somebody else who can make them. So they're therefore the least likely to actually invent something. Number 23 asks, according to the passage, what did Fontana hope to do with his inventions? Pause the video and see if you can answer it. The correct answer is D. Sell them to patrons. And if we go to lines 25 through 29, they're ads for ideas or things that he hoped to sell. 68 drawings advertising the inventions that Johann or Giovanni da Fontana, who is both the engineer and the artist, hoped to sell to patrons. That is going to support D being the best answer. Number 24 says, as it is used in line 34, the word concern most nearly means, pause the video and see if you can find an answer. The correct answer here, the correct answer here is F, involve. Despite the fact that most of it does not involve military matters, is going to make the most sense considering that they're talking about these devices that he's created. They're maybe not that practical, but he's being very inventive with it. And if we continue reading, we're going to see that there's not a lot of military stuff up here, right? Musical instruments, locks to guard treasure. So F is going to be the best answer there. Number 25 says, according to the passage, compared to the inventions of other engineers at the time, Fontana's inventions were, pause the video and see if you can answer it. The correct answer here is C, about as practical, and this one can be kind of tricky. If we come over to lines 45 through 48, it says, we see similar impractical designs in the very few other engineers' books extant from this early period, most notably in the notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci. The wording right here, in the very few others engineer books, I could see that easily tripping somebody up who thinks that, maybe there's very few other books extant, or maybe his are in some way differently compared. That can be a little bit tricky, and that's going to be why this is going to require a very close reading of the text to understand. And again, C is going to be that right answer. Just in case you missed an answer, or if you would like to review, here are the answers for the 6 review questions that we just studied. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time.